Hello, Steve here, the concierge health advisor. Woo! Advisor. Ooh. Yes. This is the first video with my beard off. So today, continuing third video of the series of stop exercising. And in the first two videos, they were pretty much two introductions, but pretty much two introductions of the same sort of mold. This cry out for stop dieting and exercise, because bring it out to 5 years, 98% are failures, and most of those remaining 2% are suffering through their own willpower. Still got those cravings. Oh gee, they're craving that ice cream. Oh, they're craving the fried food and the salty food and the cakes and the McDonald's and ribs and slow cooked pulled pork and all that sort of thing. Whatever your craving go-to is. When you get cravings when you've just eaten a couple of hours prior, this is an indication of Pica. So today I'll just introduce a little bit more on Pica, and before I started filming, I had a quick look on Google on what Google is saying what Pica is. And Google is saying that Pica is a tendency, a disorder, an eating disorder, a behavior that where people eat things that don't have any nutritional value, like chalk, ashes. Then you see images of was it a young girl that eats light bulbs? This dude, this chap that lives in a third world country eating bricks, a kid eating mud, that sort of thing. And we don't realise that when an infant, pre-toddler, even toddler, when they start to chew on their crib, it's called cribbing. They call cribbing that for horses. I'll mention the horses in a tick, but with babies, they're not immune from being nutrient deficient, right? So Pica is really a nutrient deficiency, which leads the person or the animal or the child to the scattergun approach in getting nutrients. We aren't that bright. Our bodies aren't that smart. We aren't that intuitive to gravitate to the nutrients that we require, because we don't understand where those nutrients reside. So how's this compared? How's this relate to diet and exercise being a failure? 98% of diet and exercise attempts fail. This is part of it, because when you diet, when you exercise, and when you do both, which is the go-to formula, less calories in, more calories out equals weight loss and health. No, not really. You might look good for a short time. You might start to look a bit shabby when you're 40 plus. When you exercise for decades, that's what my lot was turning out to be like. It wasn't looking pretty. My life expectancy only had a used by date probably 1.5 decades before I started on this regime that I'm advocating in this space. It will be a little bit different with different people. It's not a one size fits all thing, but it is the same sort of garment, if you get it right. Because usually people that advocate a particular health regime, methodology, idea, concept, shtick, marketing, and product, service, yada yada. They've got their biases, and yes, I get it. I've got these biases about micronutrients, and yes, I do advocate a particular company. Yes, they're multi-level marketing, but that's just the reluctant sort of. I don't like it to be multi-level marketing thing, but it's theirs. But which I don't benefit from. I think I only get between $100 and $200 a month out of that, and that's from close loved ones. So, no, actually, it grew a little bit more recently. So, just over probably $200. So, Pica. So when a child starts to chew on toys, no, it's not training your immune system to take on germs, and your immune system recognizes the germs and they can fight, and that's why kids are always sick, because they're always in the dirt, they're always chewing on toys. It's a little bit complicated. When they chew on their crib, which is the whole term of cribbing, they're suffering. The child is suffering. It's not this developmental thing. It's what children do. That means all children are nutrient deficient. Unknowingly, all children are malnourished. They're getting plenty of calories. Yes, we get it. But in this day and age, particularly with a high uptake, a high degree, a high utilization of our formula, the baby formulas out there, they're not cutting the mustard. 12, 15, some have more than 20 micronutrients in them, not in the right ratios, not in the right absorbability. The equivalent of the FDA in all the different countries in the EU and Australia and Britain and Asia, they just go on quantities equals, everyone's going to absorb. Absorbability is an issue, digestibility is an issue. So this is where the whole individual thing comes in the concierge health advisor thing. So that gets examined. So unknowingly, just like children, animals also suffer from pica. They call, when a horse starts to eat their barn, they call that cribbing too, because they're suffering from nutrient deficiencies. Usually, the horse owner knows that, we need to give him some feed, which is nutrient packed, and they're more into it. Veterinary science is more understandable about micronutrient deficiencies versus parents and mainstream doctors for humans, because parents got Google and doctors have got insurance and training and credential policy. The same sort of doctors that said gastric ulcers were all about stress, and it's the same doctors that say diet and exercise equals health, weight loss. Very short-term, intermediate for some, but the whole diet and exercise thing makes you go into further nutrient deficiency, making cravings, making your gravitation to food irresistible for most. And the ones that are successful, most of them are just good at willpower, but they're suffering. Most of them are suffering too. Yes, I've mentioned that before, but I just need to mention that again in case you were having a sip of your coffee rush. God knows what else, right? So, okay, I just wanted to clarify that again. So, yes, animals need micronutrients as well. There's 90 plus micronutrients that are required, and all vertebrates. Turtle, giraffe, fish, dog, hummingbird, a chook, chicken, cow, hippo, crocodile, platypus, right, all those types of, even like a spider's vertebrates. Anyway, lost the category. But okay, vertebrates, just like with humans, they all need 90 plus micronutrients, and there's ratios and all that sort of thing, which is not fully understood, but we understand enough, because if you don't have ample amounts of some, you're dead. If you don't have sufficient amounts of some, you have chronic diseases. Oh, what a concept. Not genetic. No, not genetic. So yes, I'm jumping around again, but this is quite complex. It's quite a broad concept to understand. And for one-off listeners, I need to put in those little ideas to make you understand, right? So pica, you'll have worse form of pica when you diet and exercise. If you're successful for a year or 5 years, that's willpower. If you're successful only for a few months and then, I deserve a reward and I just need a snack. Is there any snacks around? You got any gum? That's pica, and you're suffering from nutrient deficiencies, and you're malnourished. More accurately, you are malnourished. Not from the macronutrients. We get plenty of macronutrients, the simple and complex carbs, proteins, fats. Water is also a macronutrient. Talking about water equals liquid equals soft drink and alcohol, and let's mention the whole smoking and drug taking. That's a form of pica as well. The self-medicating and PTSD and all that sort of thing comes into play. Is it 90% or is it 10%? I would postulate, advocate, contend that 90% is nutrient deficiency that gets you into the whole smoking, drinking and drug taking complex. Yes, it's not diet and exercise related, but some people that diet and exercise have drinking, smoking, drug taking issues. Are you starting to get the picture? And mental health, this and that, upbringing and environment this and socioeconomic that, and privilege, minority this and disadvantage that, and opportunity here and this. Yes, splitting hairs, but the elephant in the room, not the mouse. The elephant in the room, micronutrient deficiencies. I hope you're starting to get the picture. You're full of it. Yeah. Look me up in 10 years, 30 years, see how I'm going, and see how you're going, see how your doctor, your dietitian, your personal trainer is going, and then we'll see. Your willpower, your genes. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll add my obese self, a couple of years ago in this video. They're out there, so I probably won't. That was designed to, if I felt like it, to edit in a fat video, but a fat picture, but I don't know if I'll do it. So anyway, pica, you're going to be suffering if you're dieting and exercising to be healthy. Temporarily, you've lost that 10 pound, 30 pound, 100 pound, 130 pound me, but mine's going to be kept off because I'm well nourished now with the micronutrients. Never mind the nourishment of the macronutrients. Micronutrients is the elephant. Macronutrients is more like the fox behind the tiger. The tiger, absorption and digestion, repairing your ability to absorb the villi in the small intestine. Yeah, now you're starting to get it. It's a little bit complex. It's not that simple. A little bit individual, but it's a different print on the shirt. Yeah. So this is just a top of mind awareness, a concept introduction for the Stop the Exercise series. I'll have other series that has the same sort of content, but for one-off listeners, please try and understand. Even if you're saying this is full of shit, or even if you don't understand or don't agree or subscribe to the idea, far out, man. Just give it a go. Just even if you look into it, you're going to get a lot of poo-pooing on Google. I presume, I think I know, because I've even in my attempt to validate or invalidate my own convictions, spent about 1,000 hours in trying to prove my concepts wrong. Not sure if it's more than 1,000 hours yet, but it's just a guide. I've got a pretty good idea how much time I've spent. It's still ongoing. I still want to prove myself wrong. I'm even trying to prove myself wrong with introducing a few little differences. I've increased my calorie intake to see what sort of impact extra calories will have versus being well nourished, because usually when someone is gaining weight, it is a malnourishment issue in micronutrients. Usually someone that's overweight and obese is high correlation to being deficient in the micronutrients of chromium, vanadium and zinc. It might be like a tell of many other deficiencies, but that's the tell, that's the signature, that's the indicator. Like if an obese person dies and there's an autopsy done to examine the micronutrient proportions in the autopsy, you'll find that chromium, vanadium especially, absent, not really absent, but very low levels. And so that's just another inserting that, where I inserted it in other videos too. But diet and exercise, that's part of it, because part of diet and exercise is weight management, and weight management is sometimes you're obese, sometimes you're overweight, sometimes even you're at a healthy weight and I've gained 2 pounds, I better start hitting the pavement. Yes, we get it, right? So diet and exercise, okay, subscribing to that and having 98% failure rate over a century, that is a definition of insanity. Let's face it, right? It's not willpower enough. Well, willpower even more. I'm admiring the Daytona motorbike on the road. So, so I was distracted by the bike. Yeah. Willing the price of Bitcoin to go to $1 million, like, it's not going to happen. And it's the same sort of thing with diet and exercise. Enough willpower will make you slim and healthy forever. Well, micronutrients, okay? So once again, micronutrients is the elephant in the room. The tiger is the digestion, the absorption, and food sensitivities is the tiger. The fox is fox. The mouse is environmental things. A little bit of genes in there, but environment, yes. Trauma, yes. That's the mouse. Fox. I had this idea what the fox was. Anyway, apologies, but you're starting to get it, the importance of certain ideas. So, increasing calorie intake and trying sugar replacements. It's not as if I crave sweet or sugar. I'm trying to introduce like a sugar replacement thing, like erythritol, xylitol, to see what effect it'll have on your body in general. Weight. Diet and exercise equals weight concerns, weight management. Yes, we get it. But the effect on the body, immunity, those sort of things. Xylitol. For anyone that's got a sweet tooth that's not going to subscribe to this sort of thing, xylitol is actually good for your teeth. Who'd have thunk? And it's got 1-to-1 sweetness to normal sugar, and a third of the calories, or even less than a third, like 30% versus 33%, right? And erythritol is like 1-3% of the calories of sugar, and should be used as the low-cal type sugar replacement, which is apparently 60 to 70% the sweetness of real sugar. So that's just things that I'm trying. Also, my internal jury is not fully understanding, grasping. Conviction isn't there. It's still a theory, and theory to a lot of people, theory means idea, but theory is just one step below like established axiom and fact. So the theory of how much protein you should have, and I'm subscribing still to the Gym Junkie subscription of having between 1 and 1.5 grams of protein per day per kilo body weight. For bodybuilders, 2 grams plus, right? I'm certainly not doing that. I'm doing about 1.3 roundabouts, and I don't know, because I haven't tried anything else with the protein part. This is part of my indication of trying to prove my approach is wrong and that sort of thing, right? So that's why I'm mentioning this. So the physique that you see, you're not seeing a lot of me, but like the physique that you see, is it protein, is it genes, is it micronutrients? Actually, I'll go. When I was obese, why can't I say that now? How about that for genes, right? And diet and exercise. That's why you're this physique. Well, no, because I'm not exercising. But I'll qualify that. I'll probably every second day I'm doing 60 seconds, not 60 minutes, not 2 hours in the gym. Every second day, I've done every day for a short time, but for the last 2 months, maybe 10 weeks, I've done a quick 60-second set of push-ups, slow. I only get to about between 9 and 11, doing very slow push-ups. I get up, I walk over to a set of dumbbells. I do shoulder press to failure, and then I do bicep curls to failure, and that's my 60 seconds. Probably it goes to 70 seconds. I haven't timed it. I timed it at one point. It was about 75 seconds, but I think I don't know. It feels like I'm a bit quicker these days, but let's just say a minute and a half max, right? Every second day. and that's even before I started this 10 weeks ago. This is my physique. That's how I've been, and I've had this physique. I've got a picture which I might also introduce. There you go. That picture, which I will edit in, is how I was 15 years ago, and I've got the same physique now. And that physique from 15 years ago, which I just inserted, I was a triathlete, and 30 to 40 hours of training each week to get that. I'm doing none. 60 seconds only for the last 10 weeks, and I've been on this regime for 18 months, 16 months, roundabouts, right? Come back in 5 years and do this. Well, yeah, you look me up in 5 years, look me up in 30 years if you're still alive, and let's compare notes. Will I be vindicated? I think not, but I'm trying. Is that a speed camera? I'm not speeding, so yeah. So Pica, bring it back to Pica, the whole diet and exercise, bringing it back. I've unpacked, I've riffed, I've jumped. Yeah, I get it. Let's bring it back. Diet and exercise will bring on even more Pica. And you've heard the whole idea that when you gain weight back again, you get fatter, you put on even more weight. Well, certainly my experience. And that's not really the case where your body tries to insulate itself more. That's an idea out there, right? What's really happened when you've gained more on the failure side, right? What's happened there is you just got to a point where on the last trajectory before you started diet and exercise, you just reached the point where you would have got at anyway, because that's how micronutrient deficient you were. How about that for a concept which is not anywhere in the whole space of diet and exercise and the understanding of what failure is when you gain more weight on the other side. It's just a reflection of where you would have been at even if you didn't diet and exercise. So if you go from 100 pounds down to 70, you put it all back on, and then you go to 120, it's where you would have been if you were 100 pounds. You would have been to 120 if you didn't go to the 70 and then the 120. So that's where that is. So I really hope that this is waking up a few people who woke me up. A real statement that really woke me up was this: the US ranks between 40th and 60th, depending on which data you see, where you look it up, in longevity, life expectancy. And the US spends more on healthcare than the rest of the 120 nations in the world combined, and they only rank 40th plus up to say 60 in longevity. But it's their choices, it's their food industry, it's their but they also lead the world in exercise industry as well. They lead the world in drug taking too. But that's trauma. What fucking trauma? How about the trauma? Rapes and slavery in other parts of the world in developed countries. Come on. But developed countries, they have less calories and that sort of thing. Nearly taken wrong turn. Developing countries, third world countries, even the higher life expectancy of Japan and Okinawa and the like. Even the Mediterranean region, where the Mediterranean diet idea comes from is Sardinia. The life expectancy of Italians and Greeks is like high 60s. And Sardinia, where they have a lot of saturated fat and salt in their diet and that sort of thing. Still a lot of micronutrients availability in their locally grown food, because I don't think they have hydroelectric dams. That's a whole different complex. You see what I'm trying to get at? It gets a bit complicated. Yeah, it is a little bit complicated. So Sardinia boosts up the Mediterranean life expectancy. So Japanese, Okinawans, the rest of the Asian region, they're catching up to the West in obesity and chronic health issues, because they're also putting in dams which mitigates floods, and which reduces the ability of micronutrients getting into the soil, because if the micronutrients, minerals mainly, aren't getting into the soil, it's not getting into your food. Minerals don't happen in your growing crops, because a carrot has this many exactly nutrients, like the carrot in Wisconsin versus the carrot in Shenzhen province in China. Different makeup of micronutrients, minerals, different combination. Like even this farm and a farm 10 mile down the road will have different composition of minerals in that same, not the same carrot, the carrot from that farm and the other farm, right? In fact, if your dietitian, your doctor, your whoever professional doesn't understand that doesn't subscribe to that, and they look at you perplexed at that, terrible, because that's where it's at. So I'm gonna end it there, my dear listener viewer. The whole diet and exercise complex has been wrong for 120 plus years. Stop doing it. Sorry. Stop doing it. Stop exercising. Okay, I get it. Exercise from, I don't know, people think that they'll get a particular look when they exercise. The whole vanity complex and Instagram and sexual market value and all that sort of thing. Or, rather than introducing the whole idea of sexual market value, okay, dating market value, okay, that's a bit more pleasant. And but you get it, right? Oh. So I've just got to where I think I should be going. John Bit interview. No, I'm not turning up like this. It's for some labouring thing. Yeah, that's all for now, dear listener, viewer. Any other bits of wow? Because I think they're wow comments that I'm bringing to the table, because the mainstream is so wrong. Look up some elite athletes, people that have been exercising for decades, and check out their wrinkles and their grey hair and all that. Part of growing old is genetic. The stresses on the body from marathon running, fuck, they're micronutrient deficient. Okay, the whole idea of wrinkles and grey hair, and if you've got varicose veins, stress on the body. Copper deficiency. That's just an indicator. You're certainly deficient in copper when you increase your grey hairs and that sort of thing. Yes, I get it. So I had some grey hair on my beard. If there was any viewers that observed that, but I'm not sure on the whole reversing part with greying, and it was certainly there half a decade ago when I had my other beard growing episode. So I don't think I have any grey hairs on my head. I haven't really looked. So that's where that's there. And hemorrhoids is just varicose veins in a funny place, right? Yeah, it's varicose veins on your anus. What? Yeah, varicose veins are hemorrhoids are varicose veins on your butthole. Just a few little additions to slap you a bit. Don't just stop if you're still exercising and you're listening to this. Yeah, don't just stop straight away, because you will gravitate to pizza or bloody cake or whatever. Anyway, even if you were exercising, but yeah, you're gonna gain weight if you stop exercising now. And yes, if you still exercise, you're going to go into further nutrient deficiency. Yeah, but you need to grasp this. Look into more videos. Even hire me, gold, silver, or bronze, or even the iron, the free service. Just wade through all the content. Wading through takes a bit of time, but if you want free, there's free. If you want targeted and something a bit more personalized with high efficacy, gold, silver, bronze. Gold, yes, not for everyone. Silver, not for everyone. Bronze, even not for everyone. But if you really want success, you need to have some skin in the game. That sort of skin. So there you go. That's it. I've gone. This is long, too long. But there you have it. Okay. Right. I'm going to see how I go with this interview. Who knows? Like, I've only just introduced while recording this. The whole concierge health advisor thing is only weeks old, but I'm going to pursue, because it's needed. It's needed. People don't get it. Even if when I've been advocating this sort of thing for months, yeah, people came on board, but they still didn't quite get it. They had a few little individual nuances that needed to be addressed, and they didn't tell me about things, and they didn't understand something, and then they say, this is gluten-free. That's all right to eat. Fuck. The label says gluten-free, but if it's got oats in it, fuck. Oats are also gluten. Just because the gluten in the oats is called gliadin doesn't mean that it's not gluten. It is gluten. Yeah. But this is gluten-free and it's got no oats. Well, how about the oil? Oh yeah, I forgot about the oil. Oh, fuck. Yeah. So the whole, some of the chassis, which, just a quick note. Yes, it's already too long, but 30 seconds when I heard it right. Gluten, oils, sugars, and nitrates. That's the whole 4 categories of food that we need to cease, and that'll be easier when we are well nourished. Okay, so when you supplement, even if you don't subscribe to this, you better be supplementing these days, because the micronutrients that we require is not found in our food supply chain any longer. The amounts that we need. Before we were getting ample amounts, not optimum amounts, but unknowingly we were getting a lot more than now. It's not understood, this concept. I'm introducing it. It's already been introduced, but the way people deliver it is the delivery isn't for everyone either, and then they poo-poo it, and usually some of the people that advocate it, they come across as right-wing and all that sort of thing, and then it gets poo-pooed even more. So anyway, before we go into the 40th minute, I'm ending it there. All the best, even if you don't agree with what I'm saying or subscribe to what I'll do. Still good luck. Look me up in 30 years and see how we go. See ya.